In this video, I'm going to try and work out how the Cloudmonster Hyper from the guys at On is £210. Hello everybody and welcome to Fordy Runs. My name is Chris Ford and I'm a running coach who loves to review running shoes here on YouTube. And today we're going to be talking about the On Cloudmonster Hyper. So how this video is going to work, we're going to do the stats and features, we're going to do things I like, things I don't like, and then at the end of the video I'm going to try and see if I can justify how you would spend £210 on this shoe. Okay, so On running shoes, fashionable shoes, they're part of that sort of post-pandemic generation of kids who are now out running, which is good news. And On Running have done a fantastic job on the marketing side, and all those kids are buying On running shoes and running in these On running shoes. So you've got to take your hats off to them for positioning the shoe correctly. Now I appreciate these aren't for everybody, but you've got to give On some kudos, because even some of their racing shoes are popping up in the elite field now. So well done On, you've done a good job of getting where you've got to. But let's take a step back and come back to reality where nobody really wants to spend £210 on a super trainer. Now before we get into the rest of the video, let's do the disclaimer. Right, so with that out of the way, let's go on to the stats and features. Okay, so the Cloudmonster Hyper is £210. It is a super trainer. We've got the Piba-based Helios HF foam from the racing marathon shoes, and then we've got the sort of Helion Cloudtech at the back. I'll show you that in just a sec. 6mm drop, 37.5mm in the heel, woven mesh upper, fits true to size. You've got this rubber outsole going on, and I'll come on to that in a bit. And that's probably about it really quick in terms of stats and features. Okay, right, so like I said, you've got a two foam setup here. You've got like the Piba foam, the racier foam from those fast shoes that I spoke about. And then you've got your sort of Helion Cloudtech stuff going on at the back. So you get that nice sort of spongy, propulsive feel from the front end with the sort of harder foam at the back. Now the shoe doesn't feature a carbon plate, it doesn't have a speed board in it, it's purely relying on the Piba foam to give you that propulsion. Like I said, you've got 37.5mm stack in the heel, but it doesn't feel that tall, but it does feel quite narrow. So this is a shoe that you could argue goes up against the Super Blast, and we'll come on to that. But this is a sort of super trainer from On, although it does lack that plate because you've got the super sort of foam in it. Lockdown works well, upper works well, it fits real nice, and that's probably about that. So let's get on to the things I like. I like the foam, I like the way it works with the sort of harder foam at the back. I like the upper, I like the look of the shoe. I like the fact it weighs 269 grams, and that's probably about it in terms of likes. Dislikes, the price. I also don't like the price, and I don't know whether I mention it, but I don't like the price. The other thing I don't like, other than the price, is the outsole. It's not particularly good in the wet. I think the ride lacks a carbon plate. I think they could have done with putting a carbon plate in here. So that's a bit of a miss. And it just lacks that something in terms of the ride. And I think maybe that is the plate, but there's something missing in the ride. It's not as fun and exciting that I was expecting. So yeah, the ride and obviously the price, two big dislikes. Okay, so look, I can't sit here in any shape or form and tell you to spend £210 on this shoe. Because firstly, you can get the Super Blast for £190. I think the Speed 4 from Saucony, I know it's got a TPU plate in it, is better than this. I actually think the Cloudmonster 2 is better than this, and that's £170. I don't dislike the shoe. I don't think it's a bad shoe, but it's very hard to justify £210. Now I do appreciate that On is a premium brand and it is a fashion brand, and there's nothing wrong with that. And this shoe is designed for those people, so well done On, you know. They've come out with some cool technology, a cool setup in the shoe that works well for some people who can afford £210. But for me, sitting here, I can't honestly tell you to go and buy the shoe at £210. If the shoe was like £170, I'd go, you know what? That's probably not a bad shout. But at $210, it's too rich for me. So that's a shame, because I think it will put it out of reach for a lot of people. And I think this is a shoe that some people need to try. So hopefully shoe prices come down. That's never going to happen. So that's a real shame. But anyway, look, They've done a good job here, it's just they put it out of the reach of many people. So, you know, it's a shame. But there you go, there's my honest feedback on the Cloudmonster Hyper. Look out for the review on the Cloudmonster 2, because honestly, I think if you're after an on-running shoe, that's probably a better bet. But there we go, guys. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Please do consider subscribing, and I shall catch you all later.